welcome to Bar Z. My name's Stan, and we're going to do a year-end show. I thought I'd get out another grind episode before New Year's, so I thought we'd do an end-of-the-year show. Let's kick it off with a little bit of field work we did for Simpson Strong Tie. You construction types might recognize Simpson as building the hurricane ties and steel building components to complement wood framing. Simpson Strong Tie also manufactures what they call a Simpson Strong Wall. Now, these are shear walls that go on each side of a garage, and it's kind of a corrugated, heavy steel strong wall. We had to put in a system to paint the upper and lower base plates. So let's go take a look at the system real quick. Okay, so that's a very long spray booth with a very long conveyor slot, and these strong walls pass through there horizontally, and just the ends get painted. Now this is on a reciprocator, so these spray gun sets this is unmanned. So these spray gun sets will move in and out appropriately depending on what size strong walls coming in. They make them in 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 feet. They make them get quite large. So this, and they didn't want to have to set all the spray guns to run 16 footers one day and 10 footers the next day. It's got full parts recognition. They just put them in any order, and the spray guns adjust themselves accordingly as the parts are coming down the line. Big place. I did a quick walkthrough. Let's go take a peek inside Simpson Strong Tie. Okay, well that's quite the sheet metal shop. They had a tooling shop. They've got a tool, one set of machine shop just for doing all the tool and die for all that place. They make all their own tooling, and pretty impressive. Nice place. Cool people to work for. All right. Next up, we did a little bit of shop work here. I needed an angle. I got an upcoming job. I need an angle plate. What I want to do is I want to take my Kirk clone vise and turn it on its side and have the ability to hang it off the table so long parts can hang off the table and so I can do end work. So here's the beginnings of an angle plate. And here I've started some of the holes, getting the vise holes in it, and I just did some general purpose half 13 holes. So this thing's going to get welded together, stress relieved, probably sent out to get carburized and heat treated and hardened, and then come back maybe for surface grinding or send it out for surface grinding. It's probably too big for my machines. That is a 10 by 10 by 14 plate fabricated out of 1-inch steel plate. So it was just a matter of what I had on the laying around here. I had some 1-inch plate, and I've been meaning to make myself a nice angle plate. All right, so that's my big angle plate. It is Christmas time at the shop, or we just got done with Christmas time at the shop. I had a cool shot. I threw it up on Facebook, but here's a shop Christmas tree for you. Okay, so that's a little bit of the shop. Let's jump back out in the field. We're moving an oven for a company that refinishes Stinger missiles. I guess they want them to look good when they're coming over to kill you. So here's some Stingers that are in for a refinish. All right, so those guys are looking good, ready to paint those things up and send them on and back to the Navy. Let's see. Next up, I've got a set screw tip for you. If you're putting set screws in on dogs and you don't want to mar up your part, here's a quick way to do it. Okay, here's a quick tip. Say you made yourself a real quickie dog to drive apart. It's just a piece of round stock with a hole bored in it. Didn't even finish the OD. We got a tapped hole on one side and a little groove on the other side. And this is just made to drive apart. Now, you could make yourself a soft set screw with a tip in it, with a brass or copper tip. But here's a tip for you. See, I've got no set screw in there right now. We're going to drop it on our part. Now, what I want you to do is take a piece of copper wire. This is a number 10 solid. And cut off the smallest amount that you can. There she is right there. It ain't a lot. Just drop it down in the hole. Yeah, right. Just drop it down in the hole. And put your set screw in on top of it. Done deal. And you'll feel that soft copper crush down there. And now you've got a dog securely attached, and you're not going to mark your shaft, and you didn't have to make a special set screw or try to slip a brass shim in there or whatever. But we've got our dog attached, and I'll show you what it does to the shaft. All it does is burnish a little bit of copper onto the shaft. There's your mark right there. Just a little bit of copper gets burnished onto the surface, but no damage. Didn't even pull off the oxidation. Certainly didn't leave a set screw mark. So, and your little piece of copper is reusable. You can use it over and over again. All right. Thanks for watching. Okay, so that's when you're too lazy to do this. Okay, so that's a soft set screw versus a hard set screw with just a little junk piece of copper down in the hole. Next up, Secret Santa. I had we did a thing over on Facebook, kind of a group got together and did a name exchange for Secret Santa. Let's take a look at what I got. Okay, so we got a couple packages that came in. This one just came in out of the blue, which contained a parting blade. A nice big parting blade. It says P&W on it, which probably is Pratt and Whitney. So, and that's that's one of those profiled, very thin at the bottom, very thick at the top. It's one of those profiled parting blades, so very nice. And a couple of 1/4-inch reamers. These are undersized reamers. These are, I went ahead and mic'd them. They are 1/1000th undersized, so they measure 2490. So that would be a press fit for a 1/4-inch pin. So perfect. And you know who you are. Thank you for sending this over to the show. These just showed up out of nowhere. Okay, so pretty cool. And I thank my Secret Santa. You know who you are. You're secret, so I'm not going to mention your name. Next up, everyone asked me about my YouTube gauge. It's on the Squaremaster right now. It's the blue gauge that you guys see me using all the time. I don't know, it's probably not going to focus on it, but you get the idea. It's got a blue tint to the lens. Hey Stan, where do you get that? I can't find any. Let's go watch this. Okay, that's pretty simple. Cut yourself an aluminum ring on the lathe. I just use some aluminum tubing. You want about a half a thou, a crush fit on the gauge. You know, make it very thin so it's very flexible and very rubbery, and it'll stretch out over your over the bezel on your gauge. But pretty easy to make. A little bit of saran wrap. Next up, the little Herrig surface grinding attachment that you saw in the last video. I didn't know the video would do so well. It's been doing very well. A lot of people like that cylinder square regrind. Made a test bar for it. Take a look at it. Okay, so I've got a little test bar. I've actually got it right here. And I use this to set it up. You know, it's really handy to have a little test bar that fits in there just right. And you go over, measure your high, and you can set up your little surface grinding attachment. Made a cardboard tube for it. It's got some high density foam in the bottom so it doesn't go clunk, and it's got a plastic cap on the end. So I've got my little test bar right there in cardboard, and that stays with the Herrig. So that, you know, that was my second project. I got my cylinder square done. I got my test bar done. I'm moving right along with cylindrical grinding, and I'm learning. Also, I've gotten a bunch of emails from guys saying, man, eBay is cleaned out. All they've got is maybe a headstock out there for like $400, not even the whole unit. Where can we get one of those Herrig electric centers? Jeff Perry got a little wind of this. He's over at All Industrial, and he's the one that supplied me with that little unit, and he actually put them on the website just for us. And on top of that, he's giving you a discounted rate on the unit, which is nice. He did discount it. Link below for the Herrig electric center. In addition to that, he has offered a year-end sale of 45% off selected items over at All Industrial. That link's below. Go check them out. Pretty good sale, 45% off. I don't know what his selected items are, but that's a substantial discount. So pretty cool. Okay, next up, Rick Gearhart. He and I exchanged gifts, or we've started exchanging gifts every year. He showed interest in the grind it yourself kit that I make for the squares. He just dropped me an email and said, when are they going to be out? You know, he showed a little bit of interest. So I, without telling him, I just boxed up a set and sent them over to him, because he sent me stuff before. And so that was kind of a thank you for his gifts that he sends. And he turned around and sent me a very nice Christmas gift. Let's go open the box. Next up, we got a package from Mr. Rick Gearhart, my old buddy. We've been we trade stuff back and forth, and he actually he sent some nice stuff. He makes a lot of his own tools and stuff, and he passes some of it along to me. And he sent me this material in the past. This is called Hypalon. It says Buna on it, so it's probably that's the type of rubber that's in there. But this stuff, it has to be cut. You can't. I'm pushing as hard as I can right there with my finger. You cannot tear this stuff. So good way covers, oil resistant, tear resistant, nice stuff. I'm going to roll this up and keep it for way covers. So Rick, thank you for that. He sent a box of other goodies too that we're going to take a look at. He sent some sleeves, and it looks like micron graded paper. This one's 20 micron. 3M. This is aluminum oxide, and this one is a 30 micron. I can't read all those part numbers, but I'm assuming that's an aluminum oxide as well. These are some long, I don't want to take them out of the sleeves, but 20 and 30 microners. It's pretty nice paper. Barely tell it's abrasive, but that'd be good for lapping. If it's waterproof, it's even better. You can use it over on the little granite plate by the sink. So So perfect, thank you. And I was talking to him a little bit, and he was saying that he was making some more can't twist clamps. Where the other is? There it is. And he's making some out of stainless. So these are stainless steel cant twists for use over on the magnetic plate, which means when I turn the magnet on, these won't get sucked down to the plate or get magnetic in any way and start holding chips. So pretty cool. He does a beautiful job when he makes the cant twists. It's a nice size, solid brass jaws instead of the copper plated ones like you get from cant twists. And these are going to be wonderful, and can't wait to use them over on the magnetic plate. So Rick, wonderful job as usual. Your tools are always really nice. Sent me a brush, long handle, little curved thing. I think painters call this a sash tool, and they use this long stick for going up and painting stuff they can't reach, and they don't want to dig out a ladder. But he says it's good for cleaning out your lathe and your swarf tray. So pretty cool. He made me a spindle square. I've never owned one of these before. He's got a couple of dial indicators on there. And I do it the old-fashioned way with an Indicol and an old bearing race. But he made me a spindle square. So pretty cool. I'll look forward to playing with that. And I don't know, what's the length on that thing? See, it's the same size as my sign bar. Yeah, 5-inch. So I could use that on a sign bar. You know, after you get it calibrated flat, you can tip up your sign bar and tilt your head very accurately with it too. So pretty cool. All right. What else has he got here? Oh yeah, this I didn't even have. I didn't even have a set of parallels. He sent me a set of Starrett adjustable parallels in actually really good shape. I've never owned a set of adjustable parallels, so pretty cool. Rick, thank you. Even came in the original Starrett box. Pretty good. This goes in the back of a 5C collet. See if I can find one that's got a threaded back. That is not threaded. Of course, every one I pick up is not going to be threaded. Okay, if you've got the internal threads on your collet, this should screw right in there, which it does. And this is another accessory for his collet stop set. It's got a knurled knob back here and a set screw, and you can adjust that rod in and out, and it gives you a hard stop for putting parts in. So pretty cool. And this will go with the rest of my Rick Gearhart 5C collet stop set. He's been making parts for it slowly. There's something in this. I don't remember what. No. Oh, rose dollar bill. He's folding those up again. Cool. And got a couple of brushes here. He says he uses these on the lathe. He's got a stiff and a fine. So that one's really stiff. That one's really fine. So a couple chip brushes that can go by the lathe. Pretty nice. Oh, there it is. That's what was in the Michitoyo box. I got all excited when I saw that. But I already got Starrett. I can't expect too much. But he made a triple Turner's cube. If you look in there, there's a third cube way down inside. So good job on the Turner's cube. I wish I had time to do little hobbies like that. Maybe one day when I retire, I'll be able to do a Turner's cube, but pretty cool. Nice job, Rick. And then he sends a letter. Let me get this box out of here.
encloses another piece of Hypalon and a small sample of Buna. The Buna is just as tough as the Hypalon, but it has a higher resistance to chemicals. There you go. They can't twist or stainless. Let's see, I bought several sleeves of the 20 to 30 micron graded sandpaper on the cheap. Give them a try. And I needed a longer 5C collet stop, so I made a few extra to give away. I used a long brush on the lathe. I did a repair for a friend, and he gave me several new Harbor Freight dial indicators, so I made a few tramming tools for the Bridgeport. They are cheap but work fine. Here's a few pics of the funny car coming to an end. Pantograph build from Joe Pye's plans, an AR build, and a hole saw gouge in my vise. Oh wow, he's doing some beautiful work there. He's got a good looking car. He sent me some photographs he printed out. Now he does all kinds of fabrication and stuff. So you can see he's pretty talented. That looks to be all chromoly, all TIG welded. He's got a good looking shop too, nice and clean. There's his welds. Yeah, they look pretty good. That's an interesting joint there. Adjustable. I think that's probably going back to the wing. Front suspension. Well, and there's his pantograph. And there's a gouge in his mill. Ouch. That'll be there for a constant reminder forever. Well, that's kind of a happy face looking thing. Got the smile and the eyeballs. Nice. Oh, look at that. Beauty. It's a big magazine. Okay. Yeah, I'm from California. We're only allowed 10 rounds here. Okay, Rick, thank you again. I wish you a Merry Christmas, and thanks everyone for being the fly on the wall and checking out what Rick sent over.
Okay, Rick, I don't know where you find all this stuff. Yard sales, garage sales, flea markets, pawn shops. I don't know where you're getting all this stuff, but thank you. And those clamps are already come in handy. And those little adjustable parallels are awesome. I never owned a set, so they're awfully nice. Next up, I got some Christmas stuff from Dennis Nolan and Keith Finner. Let's go take a look at these wall hangings. Okay, thanks boys, much appreciated. They will hang proudly on my wall. Next up, we rigged up some lights in the toolbox at work. Let's go take a look at these. Now all those is 12 volt DC LED strips. Peel and stick them on. And what do you run them with? You know, just a garden variety wall wart. You know, people throw them away all the time, but a lot of them are already 12 volt, ready to go. And I found a little, it was a charger for something that didn't work anymore. I got a whole box of those little wall warts, but find the right voltage, plug it in, and it burns those lights just fine. Run it through a micro switch, and now I got lights in my toolbox. All right, so pretty simple to do, and light up your toolbox. Next up, I did my first artsy fartsy. You know, this is what you can do with 5/16 nuts. Okay, well, don't say I'm not artistic. I am artistic. All right, so that was my contribution to the Christmas effort. Last up and this is going to happen after the new year, we're going to have this guy.
Good, huh? I'll make him do it after he's done.
Oh, I just love it when I can publicly humiliate him. They don't make enough Jack Daniels for me to get up and do karaoke. But we're going to have Chris at American Rotary here January. Don't know when yet, but he went ahead and sent some stuff over. And I've got one of the boxes here. We have 5 of these to give away. And I'm going to show you what they sent over for us to give away live. Really packing good, don't they? This is their digital series static phase converters. Okay. No motor needed. It is a static converter. It says here that this particular one is 1 to 5 horsepower, running at 208 and 240, and it's got a high-low switch here to select your voltage, and it's got a magic board inside and a bunch of capacitors to generate your third phase. We are going to be giving away 5 of these on the channel, and there's obviously rules. During the live feed, we're going to be requiring you to do something. We're not going to tell you what to do yet because we don't want you to be prepared. But look for that coming up in the next few weeks here in the new year. We will be giving away some of these courtesy of American Rotary. 5 of them. I believe these were like last year's model or something, but they are giving them away. So that's the end of the grind number 47. I want you all to have a healthy and prosperous new year. Do not go out New Year's Eve and drink and drive. Call an Uber, call a Lyft, irritate your driver with a drunken Fulio for a passenger, but at least you'll get home safe. You might have an irritated driver, but that's it. All right, guys, Happy New Year. We'll see you on the next one.